The Lexus NX is one of many premium compact SUVs you can buy, and one of 6 luxury SUVs just from Lexus alone. For 2026, there are no major changes, but we're getting back into this SUV to see how it drives in this F-Sport handling trim, also with the new hybrid powertrain in this trim. How well does it stack up against the X3 and the Q5 and other SUVs we've tested? Let's go find out. The Lexus NX was new for 2022 for its 2nd generation, and we tested one pretty much just like it. Red, an F-Sport, but it's not the same F-Sport, and it's not the same red. What's different about this NX F-Sport is that this is now the hybrid. It never was available on that trim before, and this also isn't the regular red paint. It's infrared, which is borrowed from the RC and the LC sports cars. That has never been seen before on the NX, and it really looks good. It's a really deep shine, very high quality paint. And in this trim with F-Sport, clearly this is not the trim most people are going for. Not only is it the most expensive, but it actually looks hot. I like the NX here. Not that beige, the boring, kind of the mid-level models. They're really boring. They look like Buicks to me, but not this. 20-inch wheels, unique bumpers, front and rear, a lot of blacked out trim. The suspension is actually lowered 0.4 of an inch, so it is riding lower. It's sportier than other NX models, and you can clearly tell that. And I do think it looks better than the new Q5, even the new X3. If you spec it like this, and I really do think you should, this vehicle really does stand out. You can go light on some other options, but you're also saving fuel with the hybrid. The top grade RCF has these same seats, and they're here in the NX on the F-Sport trim. They're really, really supportive. They don't adjust a ton of ways, only 8, and you can adjust the bolstering, but you don't need to. They fit you so snug, and they're very, very supportive. Also on the F-Sport, a perforated leather wrapped steering wheel and shifter, aluminum pedals and paddle shifters. You can't find that on every NX. There's aluminum trim, that's real. And just if you think this is a bit plain, know that the material quality is very good, something you will not find in the latest gen Audi, BMW, or Mercedes models. It's a tighter squeeze in the back of an NX, certainly not anything like an RX. This car in the back really does feel more like a subcompact, just like the cargo hold. But these seats are very comfortable. On the top trim here, the heated outboard positions are also good. USB ports and the same Mark Levinson speakers you can enjoy back here as up in front. The one big problem with the NX is the small cargo area. This may be a compact SUV and it's sold that way, but this area is really a subcompact, really tiny. Behind the seats, just under 23 cubic feet, and when they're folded, 47. Unlike most modern hybrids and a lot of other Lexus and Toyota hybrids, the NX hybrid is actually slower than the regular gas NX. That's due to the fact that this engine is actually a retuned version of the one that used to be in the RAV4. 2.5 liter inline 4, no turbo unlike the base 350. This 350H has 2 electric traction motors for all-wheel drive. Total about 240 horsepower, roughly 270 pound-feet of torque, give or take, because that maximum torque is measured at essentially that front electric motor, and it can divvy up between really any ratio that the car chooses. Continuously variable transmission, and despite the fact that it really has less than stellar power output, the response is okay, but you can tell that it is slower than a regular NX 350 for certain. Now for the first time, you can now get the hybrid as a front-wheel drive trim. Lexus did that because they've dropped the 250. That base 4-cylinder engine no longer there, so it's only a turbo. But the fact is now the price for that front-wheel drive hybrid is a little under last year's all-wheel drive hybrid, so that's good. With the price creep every model year, it's nice that Lexus is at least trying to keep it in check. But the base price now of this car has increased thousands of dollars because the NX 250 is no longer sold. So while this NX is slower than a lot of the competitors in this segment, as a hybrid, it's the only one you're gonna find aside from the Volvo XC60 or the Alfa Romeo Tonale. And the fuel economy is excellent. Over 40 mpg on the highway, slightly better, just 1 if you're getting the front-wheel drive version, which is new for 2026. Now, driving the F-Sport does deliver some notable upgrades. For one, there's adaptive dampers, which change their firmness depending on which of the drive modes you're selecting. And if you're going into the drive modes, makes it really easy here with this knob. Sport Plus is an option. Plus, there's paddle shifters. How nice is that? Even though there's no actual gears on this hybrid. What's cool is that you can get this F-Sport trim on the gas, the hybrid, or the plug-in hybrid. The plug-in hybrid has a bit more power, and it has about 37 miles of electric-only range. But of course, it has worse fuel efficiency in just plain hybrid mode. So unless you're actually going to plug that in, the hybrid is really your best choice for efficiency and power all the way around. The F-Sport also just has a different suspension, slightly firmer, but not that much. Again, it's dropped 0.4 of an inch, riding on the biggest tires here. They're not very wide, but 20-inch wheels and tires. All NX models also have a double wishbone rear suspension and a McPherson front. So the response is actually really good. The ride compliance is great. It's not as floaty as you'd expect. A lot of the bigger Lexus models like the RX, the TX, that's where you're getting that more creamy, very traditional Lexus ride, but not here. The torque from these electric motors is actually really nice because you don't really have to hear that engine groan, and it's muted for the most part. But again, it's not the most pleasing growl, especially not in the luxury segment. But the fact that it stays off most of the time and it will run in electric mode even when you're in Sport Plus, it's nice. It's engaging. It really is. The steering is direct. These seats hold you in. It's a lot nicer than you would expect. It's not just a looks thing, which I think a lot of Lexus models in the SUV segment were for quite a while. But the chassis and the upgrades here are notable. I really like it. It makes this car so much more enjoyable to drive and to look at. Road noise slightly high with these tires, but I can deal with that because when you have handling as good as this, and actually response out of the corners, nice and flat, you could put more power in this car. You can get the plug-in hybrid for that, but it adds more weight. I would say that if you don't really want this extra premium in the hybrid, just get the turbo. But I will say, even in this hybrid, the brakes feel really good. They feel like a natural car without any regen. I don't know how Lexus did that, but they've done it here. Every NX has a 14-inch touchscreen, but there's no home menu, so you always have to kind of go back and stay on one thing. So you can't actually have tiles like in most cars. But you'll see that it's generally legible, easy to see. However, when you actually want to adjust vehicle settings, there's a menu for that, and you have this here, for example, all the nice driving assist features. But if you go into this settings and go to vehicle customize, there's more vehicle customizations that are not in that menu, and also other driver settings that are not in the driver settings menu. So it's a bit odd that they have it configured that way, but either way, you get 3 years of Connect, which basically gives you 3 years of navigation access. You get a lot of telematic systems, of course, all the app. There's a digital key that's optional. And if you're going in here and you do figure out what all of this is, and it does take a while, I will say that. Very legible, generally works quickly. Your climate controls are always here. I do wish they were buttons. The only thing you have here are just some virtual knobs here and one single volume knob there. Front defroster, rear mirrors, all that stuff. I really would like to see that actually be physical buttons, but Lexus doesn't do that anymore. And you can also customize some of the things here for head-up display, so that does make it simpler. But I'm not really a fan of this system, and also 360 cameras are still an option on this top trim, so while this camera is good and it'll wash the camera, this isn't really what I'm expecting for nearly $60,000. However, the Mark Levinson speaker system, that's pretty good, but there's not a lot of controls for that. So if I actually go into here, for example, let's go into the sound. You would think that you're paying all this extra money for a really good system. This is all you can do. You just turn on the surround sound. You can't even adjust it. So I would like to see Lexus offer more customization and clean up these menus so it makes more sense. In the F-Sport, you get this special digital instrument panel with a central tachometer there. Only 6,000 RPM redline. You're not really going to be straining this engine too hard. And also you do get multiple displays, including a G-force meter. And this is interesting because not only are these touch sensitive buttons, you can remap what's on them using the main touch screen. So if I hit more, now I can just do essentially the adaptive cruise control. Here I can then switch what displays I see when this is off. On this side here, you got voice controls. You can also even change this so this can actually change your temperature and everything else here. I think this is quite a bit confusing on the go. It's hard enough while you're parked. Let us know if you have one of these. Does this actually make sense to you? I'm a bit confused. A lot of stuff happening here. It's more confusing than other Toyota products that we've tested with a similar digital instrument panel. So a whole lot different here. A lot of functionality, but it takes a lot of learning. The 2026 Lexus NX starts at $45,000. That's nearly $4 grand more than 2025. That's because the NX 250 is gone, and the NX 350h in front-wheel drive is now the most affordable trim. And there's 15 trims in total, including the hybrid and a plug-in hybrid. There's also a new premium trim on the NX 450h Plus. That also lowers the cost on that plug-in. If that's not enough, here's what we actually tested. The NX 350h F Sport handling with the panoramic roof, heated rear seats, and a bunch more options, and with destination, about $59,000. The competitors include the Audi Q5, Acura RDX, BMW X3, and a bunch more. Among hybrid SUVs of this size, there's the Volvo XC60 and the Alfa Romeo Tonale, and the only other one is the plug-in Mercedes GLC. The Lexus NX has held up pretty well. While the German manufacturers have cheapened a lot of their interiors and a lot of hybrids are no longer available in this segment, Lexus is pushing forward. And on this F Sport trim with the hybrid, you're getting a lot of car. You're spending a lot too, but all of the prices in this segment have gone up. And I do think it drives pretty well, it has a lot of technology, and it really does compete across all of those dozen-plus trims that you can order. But what do you think? There's so many compact premium SUVs for sale, so many on CarGurus, so subscribe to the YouTube channel and keep watching. We'll see you next time.